the president of the Research Institute for Bioscience and Biotechnology in Nepal. So Prajwal did his master's degree through a sandwich program between Kathmandu University in Nepal and the Sun Moon University in South Korea. And then he founded one of the first research institute in Nepal, that's the Research Institute for Biosciences and Biotechnology in 2001. So Prajwal holds multiple national and international awards for his work, including Nepal Vidya Bhushan Award, which is very highly prestigious and is awarded by the President of Nepal in Nepal. And his work focuses on natural preservatives, traditional fermented food, which might be of interest to researchers over here, and also the gut microbiome that we'll hear today. And I think to the best of our knowledge, you might be the first speaker that we have from Nepal in our seminar series. So welcome, and it's over to you.
So thank you, Deepali. So putting a lot of effort to organize this seminar this summer. And I was introduced to Quadrum by Deepali last year, so in the same month, July. So I was here for like 1 day visit, so I got to tour around whole the Quadrum Institute and also the research park over here. I also went to the University of East Anglia over there. And today afternoon, I also have a team from Nepal. So I have Subeksha, I have Ravi. So we came together yesterday morning to London and then took a bus for 4.5 hours to Norwich. And then today morning we started our whole UK trip starting. So during this whole UK trip, so we have like 4 weeks, and we started from Norwich. So then we go to Newcastle, then Edinburgh, Dundee, Glasgow, and back to London, and then go back home with a lot of energy and maybe with possible collaboration. Yeah. And yeah, so before, so this few picture Deepali took last year. So you can see over here. Shall I go there? Yeah. So Deepali told me like this is a very nice staircase over here. You need to take a picture over there. So today also after this talk, so our team from Nepal is going to have like a picture over there, and then we can post in our social media, and also maybe we can print it to keep in our institute. So, and in September, Deepali came to Nepal to organize a international workshop on metabolic modeling. So we organized in month of September for like a week. And so this is, again, we came back to Norway. So within a year, we have like 3 visits. So this is how we build a connection with Deepali and the Quadrum. And so today my talk is like how we are cultivating research ecosystem, like in the southern hemisphere of the world, and how to this platform we are bringing back brains from other part of the world. So you can see the picture over here. So this picture is from Punhil. So this is Annapurna, this is Langtang. So every year we go around different trekking route in Nepal in order to take some community samples for fermented food, from soil, from water. And this is our team from 2022, I guess. So regarding REEF, so Nepal is rich in biodiversity. So we are using the tool molecular biology or biotechnology in order to explore the Nepal richness. So these are the 4 areas we do research. So first one is we extract different natural compounds from plants, from bacteria. Second, Nepal is also a land for festivals, and also we have like more than 100 communities who work, 100 communities, and they also produce different kind of traditional fermented food in Nepal. So we want to find what kind of bacteria is there inside those fermented food, and also the good health benefit metabolites. And third is I don't think rice is grown over here in UK, but in Nepal the rice is grown in 2 altitudes, one in lowland like around 80 meters, one is around 3,000 meters. So it's the highest point in the world where rice is grown. So the rice variety name is Jumli Marsi. So we're looking at how temperature or how CO2 affects this rice variety in Nepal. And last one is we recently started human research on hunter-gatherers in Nepal. So there are few hunter-gatherers remaining in the world. So one is also the Rauti population. They are around 140 in population size, and we are also working on the oral microbiome of Rauti. So, and also recently, Nepal government they gave some allowances to the hunter-gatherers, and after getting allowances, they started taking berries from the forest. They started they left taking berries from the forest, and also they left hunting. So nowadays they are taking food from the society, from drinks from the society. So we were doing research how the government allowances affected the microbiome things. So these are just generally startup. So these are the 4 different areas where we work by collaborating with different research community in UK, in Europe, in US. So these are few pictures from our field trip that we go to different part of Nepal. So you can see over here, so this is yeast cake. So this yeast cake is made from the flower, from leaves, from bark of the trees, from the plant. And these are used for to make alcohol beverage in Nepal. So after this talk, we have a small lab visit to yeast collection center over here. So we want to look around how these native yeast are stored over here in UK or in Norway. So we also want to see how we can also store this native strain in Nepal. So this is a small figure. I don't want to show the figure over, but the thing is how we're sustaining our institute or how we're bringing research grants in Nepal. So you can see over here, around 75% of our research grant is funded from European Foundation, from European Society, from European University. And if you go inside the Europe, so there's a academy, the World Academy of Sciences. They support LMIC countries. So you can see over here, almost 1/3 of the grant we received in last 14 years came from to us. So they support infrastructure kind of grants. They support making labs. They support training master students. And so there's one thing over here. From Nepal, so we received like less than 5%. So what I see around the world is like if the country want to focus on research and innovation, the whole country that supports the institute over there inside the country. They don't bring grant from the other part of the world. But in our case, in Nepal, the government is not supportive, so we need to find different competitive grant from other part of the world. So this is one pretty thing. And over here, yes, and Subek says over here. So 2 years back, we went to Tireste. So Tireste is the office for the World Academy of Sciences. So we met then director and also the program coordinator, and we gave a talk like how TWAS helped building a different lab in Nepal, and then gave a whole institute of pride to Nepal community. And recently, so it's been like 4 months, they published an article on the title like RIV in Nepal is an example of how CEDA funded grant help local science flourish in least developed countries in Nepal. And they're also going to produce a video or documentary on our story. So this small glimpse like how different funding agencies supported and then we established different labs in our institute. And this is a small glimpse of the laboratory facility that we have. So we also started a small biobank where we could store more than like 2,000 samples. And also we have facility for microbiology, natural product research, for molecular biology, cell culture. These are all our basic lab we have. And this small data that I want to talk about is, so while going through the institute, while going through the university setting, a lot of research is focused on graduate program. Undergrad is like a teaching and learning. So, but in Nepal, in our institute, we could not gather much graduate student to our community, to our institute. It's all because like the university doesn't have the program. They don't support the PhD program. But in near future, we would like to have much more PhD student, much more master student to come over to our lab and then have a research driven projects in our institute. Sorry. And my talk was like how we're bringing brain back to our country and also back to our institute and how they are supporting the institute. So there are a few pictures over here. So until now, in the last 14 years, we have like around 19 principal investigators who brought grant from different competitive process, and out of 19, like around 2/3 are all returnees. So they came back, they get trained in US, they get trained in Europe, they get trained in UK, and they come back to Nepal, and they need a platform to write a grant, to also the platform to start their own lab. So there are a few examples where RIP could support the platform to bring scientists and then also bring projects, and also similarly the returnees also give back to the our institute to develop a lab. And recently during COVID times, so we were not so busy in lab, and we thought like how could engineer and biologists come together to do interdisciplinary science in Nepal. So we conceive an idea of a research campus where we could collaborate between engineer and biologist, and also stop instrument duplication. In Nepal there's a lot of instrument duplication, also a lot of research duplication. How could we stop them, and also how could we do engagement in interdisciplinary research? So it's been already 5 years. So we have like 3 research institutes: RIB, Food Research Institute, and CRIB, and we have a small startup, and they're working on computer vision and AI. So these are 4 entities inside our own campus, and we work together to solve some of the local problems, some of the local scientific problem. And we believe in the modern AI circumstances, we believe in collective intelligence that hunter-gatherers has from the past. And these are a few instruments that was developed in last 5 years. So during COVID times in Nepal, there was lack of PCR machine, but to build a real-time PCR machine, we need to build a first of the classical PCR machine. So the engineers in our campus, they build a PCR machine, and then we validate with doing PCR in our microbiology lab. And these are some water testing device. So this in microbiology it takes like 2 days to find the contaminant in the samples. So this device takes like around 10 seconds, and they give us traffic light. So if there is like green traffic light, you can drink water. If there is orange, you can boil it or you can cook it. And if you have like red, then you need to ignore the water. And there is some small, we also started working on leishmania, the tropical disease. So we need to trap the sandflies. So engineers build the trapping machine over here, and also we do a lot of public engagement. So we also made a portable weather station, and in order to isolate, characterize different metabolites, natural compounds in plants and bacteria, we use SPLC. But they're also developing, the engineers are also developing a Raman spectra, where the low-cost system will identify different natural compounds found in the plants and bacteria. So these are few systems that is developed in our campus. And going back to my title, so in every 2 years we organize international conference in Nepal, in different cities of Nepal, and the 5th one was organized in Godavari last April, and the theme was planetary health. So there was one session, like one focus group discussion on cultivating a research ecosystem in developing countries, bringing the brain back. So we proposed like 4 different questions, and then we gave a point, and then these are the few points, like mobility of young people. So there was a lot of votes on government should invest in the mobility despite the brain drain that is happening in Nepal. And second one is how to bring those brain back to Nepal in order to build a sustainable research ecosystem in Nepal. So there is like family the first, there should be home, there should be nature, culture, and a satisfaction of giving back to the society. And third one is, in Nepal we have a lot of legal procedure, legal like red tapes over there. So in order to boost, or in order to have like a sustainable research ecosystem, we need to have a very supportive legal framework. And the last one is there is a lot of questions regarding Nepal is a very poor country. They lack scientists. So Nepal shouldn't focus on fundamental research, discovery research. They should focus on applied research. But what our team believes, like we should also regardless of what the situation that we have in Nepal, we should also focus on discovery research, discovery science. And going back to a few of the projects that our returnees, our team is doing, is One is like where it's been like 3 years, we're isolating different lactic acid bacteria from different geographical regions of Nepal. So from lowland to highland. So these are a lot of tricks. We went to bring samples from different communities. So we're isolating lactic acid bacteria from fermented food. We're isolating lactic acid bacteria from different cattle, livestock milk, and so in the meantime, also we are developing a culture collection center where we can have like a native microbes from the community. And so this is small, like we have a wild type of strain, but sometimes we need to improve those strains. So we're working with Novonis is a company in Copenhagen. So we're working on how could we improve the wild type strain in order to have some application in food and cosmeceutical. This is small application project that we're doing from last 3 years, and also developing our small culture collection center at our institute. And second one is, so in UK you have like a Highland cows, but the Highland cows stay and they live around 1400 meters or something. But the yak over here, they live at the altitude of 5,000 meters. So they graze on the wild medicinal plants in the forest. And we're working with the Roslin Institute in Edinburgh, and then we want to see how wild breeding, like in Nepal, there's a wild yak. They produce only 1 liter of milk, but to make a cheese from those milk, they used to cross with the cow, and then they make a hybrid named Chauri, and they can produce like 4 to 5 liters of milk per day. So, but this cow is fed with some kind of antibiotics. So we hypothesize like while breeding, is there transmission of antibiotic resistant bacteria or gene to the wild yak or not. So this is a project that we got funded from Scottish Funding Council, and we're working with the Roslin Institute. And this is a project that we're developing. Before that, we published a paper in Nature Communication on the wild yak. So we could identify like 50 additional genus of anaerobic fungus from the gut of the yak. So Nepal is also a source of finding a novel consortium of bacteria or fungus. Yeah, bacteria or fungus. So these are the a kind of research we started. So one with the US, one with the team from Roslin in the UK. And third, as I mentioned previously, this is the upland rice. So you can see this is the place named Jumla. So this is a kind of like brown rice. So it's very rich in nutrients. And recently, it's been like 2 years we're working on this. So we found like the climate change effect is there in the rice variety, but we also need to find a solution. How could we mitigate this climate change problem? So we came up with the idea of priming the bacteria on the seeds, like making edible coating on the seeds, so that it could withstand the climate mitigation problem over there. So this is one biopriming project also we are conducting in Jumli Marchi rice. And going back to, from morning we started, from morning we had a lot of talks, we had a lot of discussion on fermented food. So this is a small picture from Kokana. So you all know like kimchi, you all know sauerkraut, they are made from different cabbage variety. So this one is gundruk, popular in Nepal. They are made from edible leaves also, and also from non-edible leaves. This one is from edible leaves. So I guess it's from mustard leaves. So now it's been like 3 years. So we also starting sampling these traditional fermented food samples from the community, and then want to check what kind of dominant bacteria are there and how it differs from other part of fermented food that are found in the western part of the world or eastern part of the world, like Japan, Korea, also in the European part. So this is one thing. And so this is a trick I went last year after the conference. So these leaves, so you can see this one is made from edible leaves. So again, the gundruk can be made from non-edible leaves. So these leaves, if you take it raw, then there is an itching problem in your throat, and also there is like a kind of nausea and vomiting. But when you ferment them, then it's a fermented product named gundruk, and it is tasty also. So we want to look at science behind how the bacteria, native bacteria or native lactase bacteria, they convert or they detoxify the anti-nutritive factor or like toxin in the foods. And so this is one like a discovery kind of finding, or like, not research, or like fundamental research. So a lot of people, they gave out tips around applied research, but I think we have good base or good ideas on to do research on discovery research science over there. And in the morning, yeah, so Jody is there. So we also working on tropical disease, this leishmania. So these parasite, they stay inside the sandfly, and they bite dog, and then they also transfer leishmania parasite. And also so people have already isolated different strain of leishmania from Middle East, from tropical region, from South America. But in Nepal, these parasites usually used to have around 80 meters or in lowlands, but now we can find the sandflies, this parasite, up to like 3,000 meters. So we're looking like how the climate change effect is going on these parasites, and also want to know which kind of species that the native population in Nepal has. And while doing research, we have also collaborated with University of Glasgow. So we're developing this project with them. And so for this project, so there's already a published article, or like there's a team, they have known like the plant extract from Nepalese forest or Nepalese garden, they could cure leishmania in dog. So we want to translate the same thing, how it happens in the human, how it affects in human. So this is one project we're also going to develop in the field of tropical disease. And as I mentioned previously, we're making a library for bacteria. So similarly, we're also planning to make a library for different plant extract that is found inside Nepal that have some activity against different kind of diseases that is prevailed in Nepal. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a small picture from Raute, just to show you how they live, how they look like. So they are like a nomad. So they stay in one place for like like 3 to 4 weeks, and then they transfer to other parts. So they roam around from altitude from around 1400 meters to 3400 meters throughout the year. And so we have just 140 people living, and then they make different kind of bowl, and then they sell to different guests. They come to their home or they come to their place. And so looking at our whole institute, so one thing is common is like banking. So we want to buy a bank, we want to make a banking system for microbes, banking system for plant extracts, and also a lot of samples that we get from the hospitals, we also want to bank them. So these are the three things we are focused on. And then we also want to generate some data from native plants, native bacteria, and also from humans in Nepal. And recently we had a MOU with Kathmandu Cancer Center to work on colorectal cancer, and we're working on liquid biopsy project with them. This is all about research, all about like how we provide a platform to researchers and returnees. And beside research, we also do a lot of public engagement. So Subiksha is here. She's been involved in different public engagement activity from past 6 years, and we work with the University of Edinburgh as a partner. And is Alba. She's a research scientist at the University of Edinburgh, and she works at Welcome to Us Discovery platform. And she also started a small charity, Engage Nepal with Science in the UK, and we work together with her. And we also published a comic book on leishmania, like how the leishmania, the whole story, and then we also provided in Nepali, also in English, to different students during our science festival. And also we organize different science festival in every 2 years. So this year, the second science festival is going to organize October this year in Zappa. Yes, and beside research, public engagement, we believe like we need to connect all the beautiful minds in the eastern part of the world, the western part of the world. So we thought like, well, let's have one platform where we could connect all the beautiful minds who love science. So we started organizing an international conference in Nepal in the field of bioscience and biotechnology back in 2016. So in Pokhara 2026, we're celebrating 10 years of organizing international conference in Nepal. So from this platform, we'd like to invite, if you have a time, in February 6 to 9 next year in Pokhara, we're organizing international conference on bioscience and biotechnology. And yeah, so if you have time to visit Nepal, if you have time to know more about RIP, if you have time to get connected with us, then maybe the Pokhara platform could be a place to connect between both of us. And in last 10 years, I counted like how many countries participated in our conference. So it was around 22 countries participated. So through this platform, 22 countries, researchers, scientists came to Nepal. They also get connected how Nepal looks like, how the culture looks like, and also get connected with the RIV and all the research activities. So through this platform also we got a lot of collaborators to RIV for doing all the formats and research activities that we do at our institute. And yeah, last year when I was over here, I was so inspired by Quadrum Extra. So there's Quadrum Institute and then there's Quadrum Institute. So I said like, this is a very good thing, why not to copy? So we thought like, let's start RIV Extra. And so there's a plus, Extra is like a plus. So we have a lab. So we have intellect, we have not English. We have a lab, we have researchers, team of good researchers. So let's have some consulting facility. Let's start some research services that we could provide through our lab, through our institute. And maybe this could also help us to generate some revenue and also give some revenue to our institute. So now we are offering like 25 tests through our RIV Extra. So and these tests are provided to some startups, some food companies, and also to some cosmetics companies. And so in Nepal, like at RIV, we do regular PCR, but the PCR master mix is like we buy from New England Biolabs or other companies that sometimes it takes like 6 months to reach Nepal. So for simple PCR, we need to rely on different consumables that are imported from other part of the world. So why not we start making a PCR master mix? So 2 years back we started a visiting scientist program, and we asked a researcher from University of Edinburgh to come over to our institute for a 2 weeks training and then set up a protein science lab, and then train us in the cloning, in protein respiration, purification, and setting all the things for the PCR master mix. So now we can produce PCR master mix, and we're thinking of selling those PCR master mix to colleges, not for diagnosis, for research and teaching, so that we could also generate some fund and we could also support institute. And third one is like to start a consulting to different companies, the local companies in Nepal, and the money that we get, the revenue that we generate could be used to generate cost for like rent, electricity, internet. So if these things happen, then maybe we don't need to rely on overhead from the grant in order to pay rent, pay all the things. So within a year, so I took a lot of good vibes, good ideas from Quadrum. So within a year we started this thing, yeah. And beside research, beside RIP Extra kind of things, we also started a RIP endowment. Like if you could support in the endowment, then we could support some kind of research activity in Nepal. So we had like a tagline, this is could be a platform for incubator for growth for RIV in Nepal. So last year we organized 3 endowment seminar. So first we had over here in Edinburgh, and then second we had in Tesseling in Netherlands, and third we had in Barcelona in November. So we use this platform to tell our stories, to get connected with people, like-minded people. And so this Friday we are organizing endowment seminar episode 4 in Newcastle University. So I don't know how much time do you have, and if you're interested then let me know. I can send you invite to Friday program in our endowment seminar. And yeah, so we have we categorize 6 different segments how this endowment could help RIB. First one is we have a lab now, but we need to sustain our cost for lab manager and also for research scientists. So maybe the fund generated from this could support human resource, particularly for lab manager. And second one is, I don't know about here in Nepal, there's a lot of voltage fluctuation. Sometimes you get around 400 volt in your lab. So and then the whole instrument get caught fire. So maybe this fund could also support maintenance of some of the instruments in our lab. And also it's been 3 years we started visiting scientist program for 1 week to 2 weeks. They could come to RIB, but sometimes the funding agency doesn't support lodging and fooding for the visiting scientists. They could only support the flight tickets. So why not from this fund we could support basic lodging and fooding for our visiting scientist program at our institute. And sometimes the university graduates, they also come up with a good idea. So we have a platform to do research, but sometimes we need to buy a particular kind of chemicals for those ideas to support. So maybe these are some few ideas we could support from endowment. So there are few things that we want to support to our institute. So looking at our whole budget, so one is research, from the research we support. One is from last year we started RIP Extra kind of thing, and maybe in coming days we could also support through endowment kind of thing. And maybe this is my last slide or second last slide. So what RIP can offer in coming days to our international guests, to international collaborators. One is this is not for foreigners, but for Nepali diaspora, Nepali origin people who are living outside, but if they want to come back, so again they want to make a research institute, they want to start from the scratch. So maybe RIP facility could be a platform to test their hypothesis, to conduct their research. And second one is, as I mentioned previously, we are banking 3 kind of things: one for plant extract, one for microbial culture, one for human samples to conduct different genetic research. So this could be also a platform to connect between you and us, where we could do research on this natural or biodiversity of Nepal. And we believe RIP had a very good working environment. So these are the things that RIP could offer, and let's collaborate, and this could be a nice North and South collaboration for mutual benefit. Yeah. So this is the last slide. So in the morning I also mentioned we get trained in overseas. We came back and we were inspired by all the research, all the ideas, all the vision from the Western world. But now we also have our own stories to tell to the whole community, scientific community. So there was an invite from Nature Review Method Primers. So they gave us 1,200 words to condense our whole story. And then we published an article, a small comment on Research Institute from NESTEC, Challenge and Way Forward. So these are a story from Nepal. So I heard there's an issue with the access, but if you are interested, then I can send you a PDF. So this is a small story from our side. So yeah, thank you so much for your time. So if you have any questions, suggestions, tips, or suggestions, we are happy to take. Cheers. Hey, okay, sorry. Yeah, so one thing, I forgot to mention over here is, so we made a small video how we organize international conference. So we summarized all 5 editions of ICBB in a small video. So yeah, it's for 3 to 4 minutes.
Research Institute for Bioscience and Biotechnology, RIBB, was founded in the year 2011 with a vision of empowering Nepal through the sustainable use of biodiversity, inspiring innovation, transforming lives. ICBB International Conference on Bioscience and Biotechnology. RIBB has a rich history of hosting a series of biannual international conferences. International Conference on Bioscience and Biotechnology ICBB, serving as a global platform for knowledge exchange and collaboration in the field of biotechnology within Nepal. This biannual event has become a hallmark in the field of bioscience and biotechnology, attracting leading scientists, researchers, experts, and professionals from around the world to Nepal. Overwhelming 1,000+ participation. ICBB, with its tagline, a platform to connect beautiful minds. Let's highlight some glimpses from 2016 to 2024. ICBB 2016. First International Conference on Bioscience and Biotechnology 2016. ICBB 2018. Second International Conference on Bioscience and Biotechnology 2018 Dhulikhel. ICBB 2020. Third International Conference on Bioscience and Biotechnology 2020 Pokhara. ICBB 2022, Fourth International Conference on Bioscience and Biotechnology 2022, Saurashjuwan. ICBB 2024, Fifth International Conference on Bioscience and Biotechnology 2024, Godavari, Lalitpur. For ICBB 2026.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Prajwal, for a very nice introduction to research ecosystem in Nepal. And I didn't realize I had made our stairs so famous, but I think it's at the highlight of the building now. And so is there any questions for Prajwal?
Maybe some suggestion as well.
Sorry?
Some suggestion as well. Yeah. So some could be like some tips to how to grow?
Yeah,
I think-
definitely. So any suggestions for Prajwal, how to improve, or what aspect of research we do in the UK could be transferred or implemented in Nepal? Like you have done a very good job with Riv Extra. Again, I didn't realize that I was promoting Quadrum Extra so much that we have a Riv Extra now. So I might ask a question. If someone is interested in visiting Nepal and do a short-term secondment, that we have PhD students here who are very much, and I think they are supposed to do some secondment outside of Quadrum Institute. So what is available and what are the requirements to be a visiting scientist in RIB?
So there's no particular any criteria to ask visiting scientists from abroad to Nepal, but one thing is like we have some areas of research. So if anybody can like translate or can give input on those areas, then we could organize like a workshop. One thing. Second thing is like we also need some of the advice. So last year we organized a grant writing workshop for like a week with the Rosemary Institute. And third is also like we also go for a field visit. Sometime your suggestion, your tips could also help us to how to sample, because sample is very important. So these are very different areas. And recently we came up with the idea of, I see a lot of international students after doing PhD, they want to take some break. So for 3 months to 6 months. So, but we couldn't hire them as like a postdoc. But what we could do is like we could support with lodging and fooding, and if they come us for like a 3 month to 6 month, then they could also transfer their skills or like give us training. So one could be like a very short for 1 week to 2 weeks, like a short courses, short training, also like a developing proposal together, and also knowing Nepal research capacity. And second could be like a long term, like 3 months to 6 months. So they could come over here after doing PhD or after doing some postdoc and want to take a break, and then we could also support with lodging and fooding. But so sometime like when we started visiting scientist program, there it was very hard to find a fund. But now in 3 years we know like a 10 list of 10 funding agents they could support. So it's very easy to find fund for visiting scientists rather than research. So I think 1 week could be short term, 1 week could be like a long term, like 3 to 6 months. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
So a very interesting talk. Thank you very much. You mentioned fermented foods. So what does the fermented food industry look like in Nepal? Is it mainly artisan production where families make their own fermented food, or are they SMEs or big fermented food industries that you collaborate with?
Yeah, so basically in Nepal, we don't have like a legislation for fermented food. We don't have a big companies for fermented food. So all the fermented food are made locally. So some are made in the house, some are made in the community, but there are few initiatives from the rural municipality. So nowadays they have a big, they have some initiative from rural municipality. They make some small processing plant in order to buy fermented food from different local community. So at the moment it's community driven fermented food in Nepal, and also we don't find any label in the fermented food. So we think like there should be some kind of label to make assure the product is safe, and also to commercialize the product. So if you see other fermented food from other part of the world, they are properly labeled, and they know they can write. They also have label for what are the probiotic bacteria inside those food. So that part is missing. So through our research in the next 4 to 5 years, we are planning to have what are the beneficial consortium bacteria over there in the local community, and also what are the metabolites that are beneficial for like a human or like for gut. So yeah, it's all about artisan and also like community driven.
That was great. I just had a question about sort of, not a question, but sort of clarity. So one of the things you mentioned was how you integrate with the different institutes to kind of stop the sort of duplication of buying equipment and resources. But how easy is it for different groups to access resources held by different institutes? Because it's one thing if you separate out your focus of expertise, but if it's really hard to actually get access to those instruments, is there much uptake for those things? And how do you support scientists coming in to use the different equipment in different research facilities?
Yeah. So over here, so we have Food and Research Institute. So they are optical engineers, like they work on optics, they work on laser, and all the research they do has like application in biology, application in food, application in water science. So for example, so over here, you can see this testing device. So they have their own engineers, a group of engineers, they develop these instruments. But if RE was not there in the place, then they need to have their own microbiology lab in order to test, in order to validate these instruments. So from last 5 years, we supported our platform. So they had a grant for like 2 years, and then they also supported some overhead so that we could also benefit from those partnership. But from last 3 years, they don't have funding. So we said like, yeah, this is a homegrown technology, so let's support. So this is how we do between engineer and biologists. But regarding also with you talk about research staff. So Subiksha is here. So Subiksha also went in the same building. She was employed in the food and research for 2 years in order to support microbiology part. So sometime we also support exchange of researchers, but there should be payment. But in respect to lab, if there is fund, then they pay overhead. If there is no fund, then we support locally to this initiative. So yeah, maybe I gave your answer. Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Well, if we have no further question, oh, sorry, did I miss one?
Sorry, I didn't see. Thank you for the great talk. So as you explained, like you're producing a lot of super valuable data, and I was wondering, how do you deal with the difficulty of accessing computational resources? Sorry. How do you have the resources on site to analyze the data, or do you use outside resources?
So it's been like a year. We started like a virtual kind of training every Thursday for 1 hour. So our research is getting trained on like R Studio, like basic bioinformatics, basic software that are used for genomics, for metabolomics. In the meantime, also we are planning to develop our own server, and also like how could we analyze data through our server. So in the morning we also had a meeting with the client. So we don't have a big facility, but we're thinking on how we could analyze data, or how could we store our data that comes from the wet lab. So this we started. This is like a baby step for now. It's already been a year. Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask you about your culture collections?
Yeah, please.
So you've got some bacterial culture collections, and you're talking about either filamentous fungi or yeasts. Can you just give us an idea of where you are with those collections and how you would like to take them forward and how you're going to exploit them?
Okay. Yeah, so right now we have liquid nitrogen tank, we have -80, we have live laser, we have -20. So what we do is like we store one sample, the working samples in -20, and second batch we store -80. And sometimes also we will lyophilize them, and then we keep in room temperature or like a 4 degree. This is how we're storing. But the thing is like we can't do research in all the bacteria that we isolate from the nature. So maybe other colleges, university, research institute could also work on those strain. So now we're offering those strain to other university colleges with nominal fee. Like they can, we charge nominal fee, they take a strain and they work with Nepalese strain. So this is one part. Second part is we want to explore those strain mostly on food application. For that, we also need to characterize those strain molecular characters. So before, like 1 hour before we had a meeting with Dipali, like there's a GET genome, they could also sequence back to the whole genome. So one way to collaborate with these local resources is like to sequence the whole native bacteria and then see what kind of native enzymes are there that could be used in commercial application. So one could be that way, and second could be like making a platform where local researchers could go through and then they can buy a strain and they can work, and then but they should acknowledge our contribution in acknowledge section. Like we took a strain from this culture collection center in Nepal and they can do research. So these are two areas we're thinking of.
So you had bioactive molecules on one of your slides.
Bioactive molecule?
You were, yeah, I can't remember which one it was. I think it might have been Rib Extra. I love the name.
Okay.
So is that,
No.
no, maybe it's on one of your slides somewhere. I saw bioactive molecules as a potential exploit.
Oh,
Is
here?
that, yeah, it's there, isn't it, somewhere? Bioactive natural compounds.
Yeah.
So is that something that you would like to do, or is that something that you are currently doing, would like to expand?
Yeah, so there's two research that is going on. So one is in Nepal we have mango. It's a mango guava. It's like tropical fruits, and it's been like more than 5 years. We are developing an edible coating. How we could make a coating on those fruits from guava leaf extracts. So we published one paper like showing guava leaf extract have a potential to become a natural preservative, but in order to apply them in the field, we need to have like a edible coating that could preserve, that could increase the shelf life by 2 days or 3 days. So this is one project that biotic natural compound that we are working on the post-harvest technology. Second one is, as I mentioned in the leishmania, so there's already a proof on cutaneous leishmania in the dog using Nepalese different plant extracts. So now we want to test them in the humans, like in the skins. Before that, we need to identify, we need to characterize what kind of native leishmania parasite in those human samples. So next week I have a meeting with University of Glasgow. They have a facility on metabolomics. So we're thinking like how could we work together on those parts. So these are two areas where natural biotic compounds could be used. One post-harvest technology, one could be a tropical disease.
There's a big group at the University of York that are working on treatments for leishmania. Are you connected to them at all?
Okay. University of York?
University
Okay.
of York.
Okay. So we have one collaborator from University of York, Thomas Krause, but it's in physics. So yeah. So on this system device, not our partnership, but with the Futung, so the engineers, they have a collaboration. So we had like a monthly meeting together. So yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Prajwal, once again, and thank you everyone for coming and joining us today. Thank you.
Cheers.